We got to begin with Don Lemon. We got to start with him because he's back on the air today. You women are women who fight for other women, biological women, actual women, and women's spaces and so on. So this is why Don Lemon's in the news this week and last, because he took a shot at Nikki Haley, suggesting women are past their prime once they're over age 40. It was not the first, and I guarantee you it won't be the last, of his sexist comments, and this is why it became such a big deal. Nobody who's sane or on the right or opposed to cancel culture gets all up in somebody's grill over one comment in our country. That's something the left does. But when there is a repeated pattern and it's very clear a guy's a sexist and he has a national post and he's in the midst of bullying his co-hosts who are female and younger, he deserves to have it shoved down his throat. So that's where we come in. So he comes on the air today. He made the comments about Nikki Haley on the air last Wednesday, I think it was. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the balls to issue an on-air apology. He's got to issue a tweet before he goes on the set because he's a coward and can't issue the apology. The rule in journalism typically is you issue the apology in the same format and with the same audience in which you delivered the sin, in which you committed the sin, right? If you said it on the air, that's where the apology goes. Nope. It was a Twitter apology that reads as follows before he hit the air. I appreciate the opportunity to be back on CNN this morning today. To my network, my colleagues, and our incredible audience, I'm sorry. I've heard you. I'm learning from you. And I'm committed to doing better. See you soon. This is we hear that his boss, Chris Licht, has decided on a, quote, I think it's formal training that's now going to deprogram him as a sexist. Because it worked so well for Jeff Zucker and Chris Cuomo and Jeffrey Toobin. I don't know what kind of program they have over there, but it hasn't done such a bang-up job on their on-air or behind-the-scenes male personalities. So what do you ladies make of the CNN decision to tweet the apology, put him right back on the air, and off he goes covering Nikki Haley and other women?
Yeah, that's called liberal privilege right there. I mean, if it was any conservative, could you imagine if Sean Hannity said that, Megyn?
Oh, my God.
I mean, what would happen to him?
Kamala Harris?
Tucker. I mean, it's ridiculous. And to point out his apology, he starts with saying, to my network. Why didn't he start with to women everywhere who I have?
And Nikki Haley.
Yeah, to Nikki Haley, and so he deserves, to be let go. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not about cancel culture. I was canceled. But in this situation, we'd like to invite him over to Battle Cry and we'd like to have him do some training with us. We'll put him into shape.
I love that idea. Yes, that training I would trust, Carrie. Yes. That I could get behind. Britt, what do you make of it?
Well, what I notice is my mama always taught me that when we apologize, we had to explicitly apologize for what? What are you sorry for? So if you slug your brother, you can't just say, I'm sorry. You had to say, I'm sorry, I hit you, I won't do it again. And then you do something kind to counterbalance what you did that was mean. So my first reaction is you're sorry for what, Don? You didn't even explain what you did. It was just a one-off, sorry, I have to say this just so that I can get back to my job. So it reads totally insincere. And like Carrie said, it wasn't directed at the person that he initially directed his comment to. So it read extremely insincere, and it's not surprising. I think it's interesting. I didn't know until this morning because I was like, how old is Don Lemon? So he's 56. Nikki is 51. And then you have Biden, who is 80. So,
yeah. Well, even Whoopi Goldberg was out there saying she's not a new generation. It's she is compared to Biden and Trump. That's the point. That she was saying people over 75 in politics should take a mental competency exam. That's why this whole topic got injected into the national conversation. She is a new generation. She's literally a different generation than Biden and Trump. So here's the thing. Can I tell you this? The thing about Don Lemon that has been bothering me, among others, his repeated sexism, number one. But number two is this guy has pretended to be the moral arbiter of us all for the past 5 years. And I remembered this one particular example in particular that I want to show you. And then I have some others. But do you remember when Chris Harrison, longtime host of The Bachelor, got fired over this bullshit incident where a contestant on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, whatever, had been outed as having a few years earlier in 2018 gone to an antebellum party celebrating the old Deep South.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it came out like this was like 5 years earlier, 4 years earlier, whatever it was, a couple years earlier. But it was 2018 that the pictures were taken. And she was apologizing. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to celebrate the South, given its history. And Chris Harrison, it wasn't his controversy. He didn't go to the party. But he said something about cancel culture because she was having the wolves come down on her and she said she's sorry. It was a few years ago. Like, can't show her any grace. Cancel culture, it's kind of getting out of hand. He was canceled. Everybody loved it. He's like totally vanilla. This guy is not controversial.
No.
And if you're going to get mad about anybody, you're going to get mad at Chris Harrison. Like, he doesn't inspire the ire of most normal people. And Don Lemon gave him absolutely no grace. We pulled the interview from the night Don Lemon covered this with a contestant who was on the, forgive me, I actually don't know the other woman. She was either a journalist or a contestant, but he's doing an interview with somebody about the issue. And here he is talking about Chris Harrison and his apology.
Why do you think Chris Harrison was willing to give Rachel Kirkconnell so much room for her hurtful actions, yet couldn't muster an empathy towards communities of color? I don't know if these apologies are sincere or what have you. Chris has been on this earth for 5 decades. He hasn't had to deal with these issues. He hasn't taken the opportunity or the chance in almost 50 years, especially doing what he does in the history of this show, to learn about racism in America. That's actually the definition of privilege, because he kept talking about the woke police and all of this. And we know that terminology is used by people who want to be able to say and do racist things.
My God.
Does he even hear, I wonder if he would even hear himself if he listened to that clip you just played, which I hope you are, Don.
I know. Post that.
I wonder,
ish.
would he
he'll hear it.
What we just saw, or is he so narcissistic that it would be way over his head?
It's dead on. If you just substitute in women and sexism for the racism, right? Where's your empathy? Where's your empathy, Don, for women? Where's your empathy for us? You've been on this earth for 5 decades. Haven't you learned by this point what makes a sexist and what doesn't? I, too, question the sincerity of your apology, right? Like all the things. This is how Don Lemon reacts when somebody comes under fire, whenever it comes to race, right? That's his new issue. He stumbled on it within the past 5 years. He used to sound more like Bill Cosby. Pull your pants up, stop it, blah, blah. Now he went totally woke. And now he's got to be the moral arbiter on race, on many things, in fact. Going to bed at a decent hour did not always mean I got enough sleep. Maybe you can relate. Oftentimes I was too hot or too cold or just not comfy. Well, that changed thanks to my Cozy Earth bedding, the softest, most luxurious, and responsibly sourced bedding on the planet. Cozy Earth bedding is naturally temperature regulating, so I sleep great in any weather. And I'm not alone. Laura, she left this 5-star review. Quote, my husband and I are getting the best sleep we've ever had, to the point where we don't wake up in the middle of the night because we're so comfortable. I can't wait to buy more colors, end quote. Cozy Earth bedding is made from the finest materials, including premium viscose made from highly sustainable bamboo. Whether it's their luxury sheets, available in 5 beautiful colors, their loungewear, pajamas, or their premium waffle bath towels, you're going to love shopping at Cozy Earth. Hurry, save 35% right now on Cozy Earth. Go to CozyEarth.com, enter my promo code Megyn, M-E-G-Y-N, and save 35% off your order. CozyEarth.com, promo code M-E-G-Y-N. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.